a live Facebook notification.
But let me see. Yeah, but I need to make sure it's live because I'm not seeing it. Folks, just give us 1 second and we'll know whether we're. Good afternoon. We'd like to introduce you to Live Hope Festival. Thank you.
Hi, Sherry Lewis here with David Cam and Mesfin Zayed, my brothers. I'm going to go ahead and just say Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Just as the original peoples and really understanding how you can't discover something that has already been discovered, and really being able to learn and take this time to reflect on this People's Day. And I'm going to go ahead and lead us in a prayer on that note. So here we go. So, Creator, as I sit here with gratitude and pray for humanity. And when I say humanity, I'm talking about human beings, but the wildlife and our plant life and all of the nature that is accompanied by Mother Earth that she holds. And through that, with humanity, human beings becoming human beings again, connecting, being able to relate through love, one heart, one mind, unity, reflection on their environment and nature around them, from the birds that are whistling to the smallest insects, to really understanding each other again, to really coming to a place of empathy and reflection, walking like human beings, embracing our Mother Earth, thinking of the next generations to come, getting out of a self-centered space, leaving those things away to bring back to an earlier way of being, of connection with one another. From whatever culture, we're all one human race, just different cultures. Let us come together in a good way. Let us align. Thank you. Thank you, Creator. So that's my prayer. I hope that you all could hear that clearly. Could you hear that okay? David, Mesfin?
It was a beautiful prayer.
I think Mesfin's on mute too. Okay, now I can hear. Yes.
The prayer was good, very good.
Oh, well. Anyway, just from the heart about humanity right now and looking at really the challenges that we're facing. But there's so much good that is really uprising at this time, and even these conversations right now, and us getting to sit here and share in a good way. And just to introduce myself a little bit, my name is Sherry Lewis. My mother is Marianne Flores, and my father is Clarence Henry Lewis Jr. My mother is Lipan Apache Colotiquican, Scott Irish, my father Welsh. I'm their daughter, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I'm an Indigenous woman that has a heart for humanity, and am really walking in a way of wanting to have unity, and unity through our nations, but through a global approach as well. And so I'm honored to sit here with the both of you. And on that note, I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna step back, and I would love to introduce Mesfin. So Mesfin, if you would like to introduce yourself, and then David, that would be awesome.
Thank you, Sister Sherry. My name is Mesfin Zayed. I am from Eritrea, a newly created country in East Africa. And my parents and my origin is from Eritrea. Due to the Italian occupation of Eritrea, my parents had to take refuge into Ethiopia. And there, me and my 5 other siblings were born in and raised in Ethiopia. Being from the motherland, Africa, and being here in America for all this time, everything that I wish and dream for is try to help my motherland, Africa, to bring peace. And peace is what we didn't have between Eritrea and Ethiopia for the longest time since 1998. While I was hoping and praying that the 2 sisterly countries would one day come to terms and peace would come between them. And in this dream, I followed our partner, my brother, David Camp. And while we were at the UN for the Earth Jubilee to celebrate a spiritual reset of the world between September 21 and November 2017, a fine person, indigenous, named Bobby C. Billy, was at this gathering. And Bobby heard me speak, praying and wishing that peace would be between Ethiopia and Eritrea. And on that note, Bobby gave a prayer for peace to bestow on those 2 brotherly and sisterly people. And his prayer was answered because the newly elected Prime Minister of Ethiopia, named Dr. Abiy Ahmed, went to Eritrea and met the president of Eritrea, Isaias Afwerki, to sign a lasting peace agreement. And that took place. And Bobby's prayers and all our prayers was answered. And I thank God for that to happen. And as peacemakers, not only in Ethiopia or Eritrea or Africa, all around the world, we would like to make peace. And that's what our mission and vision is. And with that note, thank you for this opportunity. And I will hand on to David Camp.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. We're here to celebrate it because in the end, we're all indigenous to Mother Earth when we're saying we're indigenous. Yeah, and in the end, and that Mother Earth is our mother that supports us. And myself, I'm from the Hakka people, the Hakka, or we call ourselves the Hakka tribe. Originally, we came from the northern region and entered China thousands of years ago. And that's why we're known as the guests. Hakka means guest family or outsiders. We're not considered actually part of China. We came from outside China, but we entered China. And our tribe is known as revolutionaries because we caused a lot of revolutions in around Asia, including Our tribe financed the army that overthrew the Manchurian Empire to establish modern China, originating with Dr. Sun, the army that was overthrew the Manchurians. Before there was no Communist Party, it was just one party for that was part of China. But after Dr. Sun died, it split into two parties. They fight among each other like brothers fighting. But one became the Communist Party and one became the Nationalist Party. The Communist Party obviously took mainland China, and the Nationalist Party took Taiwan. But originally, it was one party that was because unforeseen with Dr. Sun's death that unified all of China. It split into two parties. Now there are two warring brothers between each other, and hopefully we look for peace among the both of them also. And personally, I'm on a personal mission to end global poverty in my lifetime. And the reason why I'm on this mission is because my eldest brother died from starvation in China after World War II. And my father was so hungry, he had to strap a bicycle tire onto himself and swim the shark-infested ocean to escape from China, and swam from China to Macau to escape from death from starvation. It took him 2 days to swim across the oceans to reach the shores of Macau. He made it, so I'm lucky I'm here to be alive. And when I found out about my parents' story, about my eldest brother dying from starvation and my father's struggle and our whole family struggle with poverty, I decided to dedicate my life to ending global poverty in my lifetime. But when I set out in this journey, I discovered a lot of things, including that poverty was man-made, because there are 1% of the basically the population benefiting from the enslavement and the poverty of the 99% of the people. So when I discovered that everything was man-made, example, in the US, the 50 billionaires is equivalent to 135 million of the poorest people in the US. So 50 people own more wealth than half the US population. It's the same thing for the world. There's only a handful of people, about less than 200, that own close to 80, 70% of the world's wealth. So this is, I think, not necessary to be able to do that, but also this greed or that accumulation of wealth is contributing to destruction of the environment, the deforestation, climate change, including the oil pipelines, is all based on the greed of those 1%. So we can say, when you're saying that climate change or the destruction of the environment, is that only 1% of the world's population is destroying the planet for the 99%. So we look at it that way because the wealth is flowing into only 1% of the population. So I met Sherry and Mesfin on my journey is because they believe the same thing I believe, that we need peace. But peace means peace for humanity, but also peace for Mother Earth. How can we have peace for humanity when we're also raping and destroying the Mother Earth, destroying the clean water, the forests, the animals, and the air that keep our very existence? So our goal of what we're doing is to, what our main goal is that I think Sherry first met me because I had a flag of a multi-color feather of the Free Nations, and maybe Sherry can talk a little bit about it, about why it's important to unify all the Indigenous nations together. Sherry?
Yeah, so, well, that's very true. This has been a spirit-led journey. My family went through the assimilation process pretty intensely, And anyway, my ancestors, having that strength with my ancestors, and that's in me. It's just been a synchronicity and a walk that has started to happen in my life, well, ever since I was young. But that being said, several years ago, after being in Standing Rock and having my relatives out that way, I had gone back to Florida to work on a few things and had come back to Colorado. And during that time, David had posted on one of our group pages, which is Difference Together, Indigenous United, about the United Nations, Indigenous nations, coming together. And there was a symbol, and it was a circle with a feather with different colors. And it was a part of a collective vision I had seen, and that had been something that was laid very heavy on my heart, was bringing the Indigenous nations from around the world together, the medicine people, the elders, and having where we can actually protect our medicines and bring our elders with our youth, and really work on the healing, because I believe that if the trauma on our Mother Earth, I mean, this is a trauma as whole, but a deep trauma within our Indigenous communities that have happened, especially within our reservations, and basically trying to with genocide and now modern day genocide that's still happening. But that being said, if the trauma has circled, then I believe that the healing can that much stronger. And that's where the focus is, on all of our nations coming together right now, all of our grandmas coming together right now. I'm a mother, I'm a grandma, that our knowledge coming together in a way where we can nurture our seventh generation as our earth goes through these changes that are already happening right now in a significant way. I believe it's the time for good wealth to come and take over corrupt wealth at this time, with whatever governance that is involved with, whether it's crooked tribal council, whether it's crooked governance with the doctrine of discovery that still needs to be retracted from the Catholic Church, which also needs to be retracted from our actual federal system that still has precedence over our people, that's dehumanizing. All of these things, I think we can start addressing by bringing all of our nations together in such a good way, and really working on, our regenerative agriculture, our preservation, and that goes into the wellness centers, which I see as a worldwide global thing between our Indigenous communities, with protecting medicines and culture and way of life, and our elders and our youth really coming together, because it's so needed. There's so many moms that are even suffering from drug abuse and alcoholism and domestic violence that are my age, on the res, that and some that aren't. It's just something that has been circling for so long through the trauma, that I think with us coming in a wellness aspect and a healing aspect, and our grandmas sitting with our youth, and with my generation, and just being there as we collectively heal, these wellness centers can make such an impact in that way, through horse therapy, through dog therapy. We can have our youth training dogs to be rescue dogs from the res, dogs that don't have a place to go. So there's so many benefits for our nations coming together and standing in their sovereignty, that is really going to help humanity as a whole. So it really, I'm getting tongue twisted, brings us back to being human beings again. And at the same time, through that humanity, really appreciating the nature that is around us, and all coming together to really protect Mother Earth. And through David, that's how I was brought to Messfin. I was already walking with a very dear person in my life who I was able to bring to New York, who Mesfin referred to earlier as Bobby C. Billy, but as Shagapit. I think he impacted all of us on our walk. So thank you for sharing, Mesfin, earlier. That was really great. And anyway, that's what I have to say about that, David. So, I think I've said enough. And and also I do want to give a shout out to the 7genfund.org. It's the seventh generation Indigenous Peoples Organization. It's 7, like the number 7, Gen, G, listen, me getting tongue twisted, GN, and fund, FUND.org. So 7genfund.org. Please check them out. They're a great organization. And really, it's one of those places that things go to the right place. So it being Indigenous Peoples Day, I did want to give them a shout out.
Mesfin?
Yes.
So before I go into a little bit about talking about bringing 1,000 Indigenous people together, what is your perspective of the African nations coming together? I know that there's African Union also. What is your perspective, Indigenous peoples from Africa coming together? What's your opinion?
That's a very good question, Brother David. Africa has come a long way, and Africa, as we all appreciate, has been the source of natural resources. Europe would not have been Europe without the resources from Africa. America would not have been America had it not been for the labor, forced labor, of course, of our African ancestors brought in here to America by force without their will. But now that they are here, they went through a lot. They paid through their lives, by their lives, and through their sacrifice. Here we are enjoying, if not given the opportunity to make something out of ourselves. Going back to the continent of Africa, with all Africans in the diaspora, what we're thinking and what we should be thinking is stop the brain drain, bring all diaspora Africans back to the continent, bring it to the 21st century level, and bring peace in the first place, the peace that has been deprived by the colonialists that played one against the other, where peace was completely lost. All Africans in the diaspora, we should think of going back. If not going back, think of helping the African continent come up to par with the rest of the world. Enough is enough raping the continent of Africa, and that has to stop. And Africa has a lot to offer, but destroying its forests for the use of its timber, destroying the air, destroying the mountains for looking for diamonds and gold and so on, and literally destroying Africa has to stop. And with this group, by making peace first, we can restore, and we should restore, what was lost in the hundreds of years. Because the people didn't have the money, nor the education, nor the knowledge, and were powerless, defenseless, and being raped by colonialists in every shape or form. And that will stop because peace has to prevail first and development will continue. And thank you, David, for having me to speak on behalf of my African ancestors and my African people.
Thank you, Mesfin. I'm all with you. We're all we could say we all came from Africa, came out of Africa. So you're my distant cousin, couple million years old, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
One thing that, us as all of us three here as indigenous peoples, when we look at it, how we're asking countries or 193 or 198 countries for to basically handouts for indigenous nations. That is not good, is because indigenous nations are themselves sovereign, but they have not been, they actually govern or co-steward 25% of the Earth's land, but because they're very small in small groups everywhere, they don't have much power or international voice at the United Nations. I don't know, some people know, some people don't know. They do not, indigenous nations themselves, they don't have even one single permanent seat at the General Assembly of the United Nations. They represent 370 million to 600 million indigenous peoples around the world, but they have zero seat, zero international voice. And that no voice comes a lot of things: assassination of leaders, stealing of land and resources, missing and murdered women and children, and human trafficking, and a lot of other atrocities, because us indigenous nations are not united, where everyone is fighting in silos. If indigenous nations around the world come together, 1,000 indigenous nations come together and create our own General Assembly, like the United Nations, we own a General Assembly building as a sovereign and independent body, then that is when the real change comes, because indigenous people protect 80% of the Earth's biodiversity. 80%, that is a lot. And that also will help resolve the issues of climate change, the extinction of species, the poisoning of the waters, if we all come together as a united 1,000 nations. 1,000 nations represent 370 to 600 million indigenous people, will be the same size as the population of the United States or the European Union, will have political, social, economic power and a voice. So that is what us three peacemakers are bringing in November, to unify all the nations, the indigenous nations together, to create a unified voice and have our own General Assembly building near the United Nations or New Jersey, around there. It's half an hour from United Nations, that will represent the 1,000 nations of the indigenous United Nations. And by having that unity, think of it like if indigenous nation is one arrow representing one nation, it's easily broken, one nation. But if we bundle six, like as example, the 7 council fires together with 7 arrows representing, it's harder to break. But if we actually bundle 1,000 arrows together representing 1,000 nations, we are unbreakable. Who we will protect the water, our the sovereign land, the territory rights, and everything else by coming together and having a unified voice, and also a unified by working together in unity. Indigenous people themselves have, even the United States of America got their constitution from the Haudenosaunee, which is called the Iroquois Confederacy, or Iroquois League. When the Europeans came to America, remember at that time, everything was monarchies. They did not know anything about democratic system. So Benjamin Franklin sent people to study the indigenous, the Haudenosaunee or the Iroquois Confederacy, to study the democratic system, because the Haudenosaunee had created their own democracy, and it was the first democracy in the Western world, and it was based on the Great Law of Peace. And I just wanted to just talk a little bit, a summary about how it came about. The first democracy of the world was by the indigenous peoples. Is actually, and the U.S. Constitution, it says "We the people." On it is the same as the Iroquois Confederacy. It says "We the people." It starts out, their constitution is the same, because they basically, U.S. copied most of the concept of the indigenous people to create the United States of America. The only thing that they left out was that the Iroquois Confederacy or Haudenosaunee Constitution from the U.S., the only difference is that the women had the final say in all the decisions of the Haudenosaunee. So that was kept out of the U.S. Constitution, but everything else was almost a duplicate of it. So the Haudenosaunee, they have their constitution is called the Great Law of Peace. It came about not because of peace, because of war. So us as three peacemakers, it shows that countries can change. So what happened was that there was 5 warring nations that fought for thousands of years, and they were killing brothers and sisters. They were killing each other, and the people who suffer the most are the women. The women is their husband get killed in the war, and the mothers, they mourn for the children that die from the war. So the Great Peacemaker, the story, there's many stories to the Great Peacemaker, but what from the Mohawk traditional teachings is that the Great Peacemaker was the greatest warrior, one of the greatest warrior among all the indigenous people. That means the greatest warrior, that means he was the person who killed the most. He was call it the destroyer, that as a warrior. He killed the most people, and he was the most feared. And you can imagine, like, I'm not saying that, imagine that to the eyes of the Great Peacemaker, before his name was the Great Peacemaker, they would say he was a Hitler, who was like the Hitler of the indigenous people. So the women came to him, and they said that to the Great Peacemaker at that time, he was the greatest warrior. He said that the mothers said that our children are dying, our husbands are dying. You bring war, and now you have to bring peace to the warring nations. And he said to himself, I don't know anything about peace. I know only war. I know how to kill. I know how to, and then the woman would not have it. They said that you have to bring peace to the warring nations. And finally, he accepted the role. And the Great Peacemaker, we don't say his real name because it's out of respect. And with a woman called, her name is Jehong Sasa. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. And also with Hiawatha. So the 3 peacemakers were almost the same as us. There was 2 men and 1 woman. They went to the 5 warring nations, traveling to bring peace. And they finally did bring peace. And they signed, the Great Peacemaker signed what they call a spiritual treaty at Onondaga Lake. And what he did, a lot of people don't know where the term bury the hatchet comes from. But when the 5 nations came together, the Great Peacemaker uprooted a white eastern white pine tree, the tallest tree they uprooted, and he dug a hole. And they asked all the warring nations to put their weapons of war into the hole. And then after they planted the tree on top of the weapons of war. And that was the term where bury the hatchet comes from. And that means that they would only know peace, and they would never war with each other again. So that was established with the Haudenosaunee or the Iroquois Confederacy or Iroquois League. And Indigenous people have been great peacemakers of people coming together after a war. So us Indigenous people, 3 of us, it's the same thing. Us as peacemakers is the same thing. Is that we have a tradition of peace. So our role is to bring peace also. And also, Sherry, would you like to talk about a little bit story about Tecumseh?
Oh, well, I just, as I was listening to you, that it was a very beautiful story. And what was touching my heart at the same time is knowing that, you know, all of our different tribes have their own way and their own types of stories, like the one that you just shared. So it's not just towards one tribe. There's been many warriors and many grandmothers that have been a part of that collective vision. And I think that's a part of the collective vision that's uprising now with through our Indigenous and our DNA and has been, you know, for a while. So if you just brought up Tecumseh, that's you know, very, very true. Definitely a peacemaker and one that was going to many nations to unify the nations. And so, like I said, we have these great victors really through our Indigenous culture, but it hasn't been shared as much. And I really think that what's happening now with the scientists and environmentalists that are starting to really speak with our Indigenous nations and really want to learn from the Indigenous through the observation that has been for so long a part of what people would consider environmentalists' life or scientists in a way. There's already been a lot of solutions that have been available but haven't been heard. So I think that not just listening but hearing, or not just hearing but listening, and really taking things in, it's that time. So I believe that the Indigenous can really help lead in that way, and can even that much stronger as we go through and heal a lot of the trauma. And that is happening right now. I'm happy to see that. And I'm happy to sit here with you all. And if Mesfin wants to maybe close out, that would be great. There you go.
Sorry about that.
Hello, Mesfin?
Yeah, I was cut off for a while. Sorry, Sherry.
Okay.
Yeah, I was cut out because the internet was.
Good to have you, Mesfin. I was
Okay,
just saying,
go
if you
ahead.
wanted
What
to
were you
close us
saying?
out, and
What
maybe
was that?
I was just saying, if you wanted to close us out and maybe doing a closing prayer, and
Yes.
then we can let some of the other guests, I guess, come on that David has lined
Yes.
up. Okay.
Very good. Well, as we pray, dear Lord, we have a mission. the three peacemakers have started this journey. With our journey, we're going to include and make this an all-inclusive for the world to get together and bring peace. Peace be bestowed all over this planet, because without peace, without having peace, there is no development, there is no life. When we have peace, we could be working on all the destructions as humans have done, and this has to stop.
Thank you, Mesfin. I think you froze on us, but actually that was so beautiful where you even froze and it ended when you said that has to stop.
Yeah, that's funny.
You know, I thought, wow, because you really got through. You got through the prayer, Mesfin. You really did. Even where it cut you off electronically. But if you wanted to continue,
Yes, let me finish, and then I'm almost done. And again, God bless us. God bless the three peacemakers with the vision and mission that we have taken, and with us would like to have the rest of the world join us and have the same vision and the same mission for one purpose and one purpose only: to save our planet. And so help us God. Amen.
Amen.
thank you. Oh, well, on
So
that,
let's invite everyone else in so they
Okay.
can
And
join us.
David, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be leaving for the rest of the evening, but please send my regards to our other guests that are coming on this evening. And I will be watching in. I will definitely be watching. So I'm going to go ahead though and exit for the evening. And I look forward to watching you guys on the other end.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay. Thank you all.
So we're just waiting for other people to join in.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha. I'm Leon Siu from Hawaii.
Nice to meet you.
Hello? Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Oh, hi, this is Morning Light.
Hi, Marlene Light. How's Mexico? You were in a storm.
We definitely made it through the hurricane fine. We had no power for about 5 days, but we've been catching up on work the last couple of days. We have a little bit of a concern that many people that the invites were sent to have no button to join to watch the live stream, to join in. I myself had a difficult time joining in, so maybe that's something we can be cognizant of moving forward, to be sure that the public can actually be. Yeah, there's no Facebook live stream or YouTube live stream that anybody can find. I've been getting texted for the last hour and emailed. No one can find it, so.
What's live streamed onto the Live Hope Festival website?
Well,
But-
that webpage that went up, the invitation that went up, that's
Yeah.
what most people got, and they were looking for some kind of join button or something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, in the
I really
future,
want to
we'll be aware of that. You know, this is our first broadcast together,
Sure.
so
I
that's why
understand.
it's kind of difficult. Yes.
Yeah, I just thought it might be a good idea to bring it up now, so I didn't forget to mention that, you know, as we
Okay,
start
so
talking
so
about
that's
things that are
should
more
we-
important.
okay. Sure, that's great. So would each participant like to introduce themselves? Like 5 minutes. Introduce themselves and what they do and why they're supporting Indigenous peoples and why Indigenous people uniting is important for you.
Okay, so. Over here.
So would any of you ladies like to start first?
Well, you know, why don't we do this, David, if everyone can mute, and we will start, we'll call on each person to support them in every way that we can. So let's start with Miss Karen Weber.
Okay.
Karen, we're going to come on and have you here for we're going to do about 3 or 4 minutes because there's a lot of you. We want to make sure
That's
we get
fine.
all of you in. Hi, Karen, how are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm wonderful. My name is Dr. Karen Weber Salamanca, and I'm here in Boston. I'm very excited to be with all of you. I run Boston Green Fest. This year it was virtual. It's a large multicultural environmental music festival. We have as our mission to bring everyone together and try to share knowledge and find ways to keep our planet in balance, in check, and keep it going. I very strongly believe that the Indigenous peoples of our earth are the ones most in touch with what our earth needs. It is ultra important that everyone across this planet be connected with them, help all Indigenous peoples survive and thrive. So I'm happy to be with you today. Thank you.
And we're
Hi,
going to
everyone. Can you hear me? Hi, my name is Sara Laratra. I'm a host for Planet Glies, and we've been collaborating with Live Hope, doing live events to promote and share the message of unity and kindness and the importance of protecting our planet. And I want to introduce also the creator of Planet Glies, Basil Moore. He's a filmmaker, musician, and a fantastic artist, and he's going to be here with me now.
Hi, I'm Basil Moore. Thank you for the opportunity to contribute to Planet Earth and to the Indigenous people. It's very important for us as an environmental advocate and also a global and cosmic advocate to be inclusive to the Indigenous people. And it's very important that the Indigenous people are heard as a nation, as a global nation, all the Indigenous people together. And it's very important for us to promote and amplify the voices of all the Indigenous people around the world, including the Sioux Nation, the Navajo Nations, the Maoris, and the Aborigines and the African people. So thank you for the opportunity. Anybody else? Gail wanted to speak?
Yes, the next person, if we wouldn't mind, please having Miss Susan Agradaki, please.
Yes, hello. Aloha, everyone. So I was born and raised in Hawaii, and although I'm not Native Hawaiian, I'm helping to gather from my host culture. And I don't know if Le'ohu Ryder is on, and she can speak on behalf of Hawaii. If not, I will speak because I know people were popping in and out. She might not be on. So, are you on? Okay, go ahead, Le'ohu.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Le'ohu. I'm not going to speak on behalf of every Hawaiian or everyone. I can only bring one voice of aloha to this lei of aloha. To all my brothers and sisters, greeting as I feel into this beautiful moment, we are all sovereign. We are already. We are unity already. And it is really time to heal the oneness of duality. There is no right or wrong, no good or bad. We are each being invited into standing firm in what we know is our truth, that we are all children of our Honua, magnificent Mother Earth, from that indigeneity that we all hold sacred in each and every one of our DNAs, living our passion in the best ways that we can, living light and love and blessing each and every one. It is a magnificent day to celebrate and to go inside oneself, to feel the flow, to feel the resilience and the strength, and that voice inside that has always ushered in the waves of change that all of us, using our hands and feet and wisdom, can support in all the things that we believe in. It is a wonderful message of hope to unite in this way and to bring each and every one of us to be that one voice of many, that one voice of the collective that allows peace and the fragrance of all the flowers that have united us from all the places that we come from, to set this intention. There are so many that are here with us, even if they are not on this Zoom. There are many beloveds above and below, within and without. And so as one voice that lives on the island of Maui, that is an elder, that, we all wear many hats, but really what unifies me is the love and the anointing of each of our hearts in the prayer for peace, for the prosperity of peace, for all life, above and below, within and without. So I so appreciate the opportunity to meet each and every one of you and to be a part of this beautiful, great wave that is calling each and every one of us in the ways that it is. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. And if we could call on Heidi Little next to share her vision for Indigenous Day, please.
Yeah, I love you, Gail. Thanks for having me on. And that was so beautiful, that wave. I have no access to my camera right now. I don't know if it's on your end or not, but I think you can hear my voice. And so I think that the most I can add as well is my voice and the message from Mother Earth, which is one heart, one world, one song, one dream, one life, one. Sing it from the mountains, sing it from the shore, sing it from wherever you find yourself living for. Sing it for your freedom, sing it for your friends. Sing it from the place inside of you that never ends. And we are in full SOS Amazon and SOS Sacred Site. And if I could invite anyone and everyone who cares for the lungs of our planet and the heart and the Black Hills to gather some extra strength and send it out in the name of love, care, and respect for the Amazon and our planet, our Mother Earth, and the people who are caring for her, for all of us to take care of her. And we started the campaign last week because the tipping point, I'm sorry to say, is getting closer and closer. And it's really time to come together and mobilize. And there's a lot of action happening. So everyone is invited on this epic journey of diving deep and standing strong and flowing together to make this wave of change that is so necessary and needed right now. And I just appreciate every glowing heart on this earth. And it's Canadian Thanksgiving today, and I live in the US, but I'm from Canada. And so it has been a day of gratitude in my heart. And I just appreciate this space and the people who are holding the container and all of us who have shown up, all of the we in the world, and much love and many blessings. Thank you. Hi, David.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you for joining.
The next person I'd like to call on is Jubail.
Is he muted or is he?
I thought Jubail was there.
Jubail is
He's right there.
He's muted. I think he's
No,
cannot hear.
No, he's not muted. No, he's not muted at all. But he might not have audio. He doesn't have audio attached.
He's a king actually of the Zulu Acapello.
Mr. Muhammad?
But we cannot hear him.
Right, and he doesn't have any audio attached at all.
Okay, his audio is not working.
Yeah, he doesn't have audio attached at all. Mr. Muhammad, we cannot hear you, sir. Everyone else has audio, but you don't have audio attached, sir. Yeah, he's not got any audio whatsoever attached.
He really means what he's saying. That's for sure.
Well, maybe we should.
We could go back to him.
He's still talking. I think maybe we should be silent and just be with his spirit. Oh, he's trying to hook it in, I believe. Oh, he's coming back. Okay. Can we call on Mr. Isaiah Medina?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Very well. Well, greetings from Colorado, distinguished friends, particularly all Indigenous brothers and sisters. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Isaias Medina. I am an international lawyer, an environmental and humanitarian advocate, and a diplomat as well. And I am here to serve. I hope we can find that desire. In my opinion, narrow-minded colonizers based their conquering travels upon the life of Indigenous people by making them less than human, by making them invisible, to then be able to call an already occupied healthy living land a false discovery, when in reality was a brutal invasion. Today, after more than 400 years, real consciousness is still a work in progress. As regrettably as it may seem, indigenous peoples of the world are still politically invisible, as Chief Oren Leon has expressed. 27 years after his opening remarks at the United Nations regarding the need to preserve Mother Earth, we can assure his voice still echoing in the halls of the ECOSOC, but absent in the heart of Western nations. As we find ourselves at the gate of the 6th largest mass extinction in history, due to extractive fossil fuel economic values ruling this planet. Most Native American nations have managed after long struggles to achieve collective decision-making mechanisms into the nation-building renaissance for the well-being of the indigenous peoples. The concept of inherent tribal sovereignty occupies a prominent position in the development of American Indian law. It is time for the original First Nations to take control of their sovereignty, but not only inside their own territory and its people, but of the natural resources they protect in order to back up natural capital accounting for the benefit of present and future generations around the globe by creating a new economic system that will enable global change and guarantee the protection of our planet. The exercise of sovereignty and its mechanisms and procedures should be expressed by a constitutional process, a Magna Carta for every native nation, and one constitution for a confederation of native republics with a headquarters. Tribal sovereignty, the right for tribes to make their own laws and be governed by them, predates the establishment of the federal government and of the US Constitution. The inherent sovereignty of tribes was acknowledged by the United States and Canada through at least 25 different treaty negotiations between sovereign nations. Some general covenants manifesting common realities and links are important to be consistent and coherent, but without a doubt, the individuality of each native nation needs to be preserved and highlighted. Respectfully, some of my humble recommendations to exercise self-determination through constitutional making processes as follows: to convene a town hall meeting to hear diverse positions on constitutional creation and amendment, to appoint a drafting working group to attend nations without constitutions, to begin gathering information and prepare the consultation process. After a final agreement, including amendments needed in the constitutions or to be included in new constitutions, proposing them to the peoples to be put to a referendum vote. Now, more than ever, we need to hear the voice of our ancestral, the great peacemaker, when he said, "When you sit in the council for the welfare of the people, think not only of yourself, your family, or even the next generation. Make all of your decisions on behalf of the seventh generation coming. Then you yourself will have peace. And the peace we shall have united as one with Mother Earth. So please never give up, and we shall all prevail." Thank you so much, and happy Indigenous Day, my friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Medina.
My pleasure.
Can we now have Ms. Connie Baxter Marlowe?
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here, an honor to be here. I'm calling from Aspen, Colorado, and it's important to me that the 1,000 indigenous tribes come together, because in this time of coming together of humanity, the coming together of the indigenous peoples who've been carrying what I believe to be key pieces of information about the nature of the universe, that humanity's out of balance because we don't understand how the universe works. And so it's been my work for 30 years to bring in the indigenous cosmology, the indigenous understanding of the nature of the universe. And as the indigenous tribes come together, the indigenous peoples come together, and as each tribe and every person really has been carrying pieces of this knowledge for humanity. We all have pieces of this, and the indigenous peoples have key pieces to the cosmological understanding of the nature of the universe that modern science, breakthrough science and physics, is now proving so that the Western mind can say, oh, okay, what they see, what they know is real because science has proved it. So it's just key in my understanding for the evolution of consciousness of humanity that we come together in our hearts, and we do that when we understand that it's a conscious, loving universe, that, and it's an abundant universe, that the indigenous peoples are carrying this contact and this understanding for all of humanity. And our friend from Hawaii expressed it so well. And it's the love that we're coming to, and the understanding that goes beyond right and wrong, good and evil, that when we get into that frequency, we get into that knowing, that's when peace on earth will come. And that's when we'll be in the abundant universe that is at the essence of indigenous knowing. You don't hoard, you don't save, you give it away. So that's what's coming on the planet, is the great giveaway, the great movement into this higher frequency that the indigenous peoples have been experiencing and understanding for millennia. So thank you very much. And I just want to say, my partner and I are authors of a book called The Trust Frequency, 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm. That's an indigenous cosmology, quantum science synthesis on the conscious, loving, abundant nature of the universe and humanity's place in it. So this is the work we've been doing for decades, and it's just wonderful to see now that the heart and mind of the world is opening to the indigenous peoples through this environmental crisis. It's driving us to the indigenous people to say, okay, our way didn't work. What can we do? What can work? And it all has to do with the transformation of consciousness of humanity into our true nature and into alignment with universal law and the true nature of the universe. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Marlowe. And now I believe I'm saying it correct, and if I say it incorrect, please excuse me. It's Leohu and Nadine. Did I say that correctly? I think.
Yes, you did, but
You've already gone. Thank you so much,
I
Ms.
shared, but I want to send it over to Susan.
Okay, great. Thank you, Susan. Susan, are you there? Okay, we'll come back to Susan.
Wait, are you saying me, Susan?
Yeah.
So sorry, Susan. So very sorry.
Okay, so if it's me, Susan Ka'iolani Stanton, I want to first say how honored I am to be here with my ohana, Leohu, and the others from Hawaii. I'm from the Apu Punaluu on the island of Oahu. And also to my other family, who is everybody else, I just want to say aloha and how nice it is to be with you all. I'm honored to be here, Connie. I love Connie. I love you all. I'm here not to speak, as Leohu said, I don't speak for any other grandmothers, but I'm here on behalf of Grandmothers Circle the Earth. We're an international gathering of grandmothers that actually had our second gathering on the island of the big island of Hawaii. We went on to Maui. We went from there to Oahu and then on to New Zealand. And then we began over into Europe to Poland and Hungary and Amsterdam and New Zealand. I mean, we just, seems like we've been everywhere. And wherever we go, the common theme that we find is with the grandmothers, it's the love. And so I reiterate from our Hawaiian family that it's love that is pulling us all together. So I'm also here on behalf of the Great Balance. I am the vice president of this organization that works with the Mamos in Colombia. And the work that we do there is basically with the water. We're also planting trees. We're also working to do culturally appropriate educational programs for the children so that they can stay there in the mountains with their families and continue that wonderful cultural piece. I think that I should tell you that I'm located on the Mississippi River on Turtle Island, the main artery of Turtle Island that flows downward from up north in Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico. And it's a major thoroughfare. And the archaeology that we have proves that we've had people from Africa with spears and shields, and we've had the Toltec and those from Mesoamerica and South America, and everybody used this highway. And I'm going to refer to the teachings of Jacob Boati, who has passed on now to the circles in heaven. But he taught us those teachings of Turtle Island. And when you first hear them, you wonder, when he holds the turtle up against the map of North America, and he shows you that the bottom right leg is the Baja, or no, I'm sorry, Florida. The left leg on the bottom is the Baja, and his arms go up around the Great Lakes. And you wonder, how did they know this when they're on the ground? How could they possibly know all these teachings? And it's because we are all from the stars. We've all come here from our different places, but we've come here now, and we're one huge giant family with a work to do. And that work is to protect the environment, the water, the animals, everything, so that our unborn faces, our children and grandchildren, will be able to have this for themselves. And so we're all moving forward in that way. And it's beautiful to be able to be here now. And the work that we've been doing with Indigenous grandmothers, we have the Turtle Island Council. We've been working with the 13 international grandmothers. That grandmother work now, our focus is toward the youth. And we're supporting them, especially in their environmental climate change activities. We're helping them to remember that their activism is love-based. And so we need to be able to help them and support them in this work, because they are seeded for this. They came in now at this time. And it's our role, we feel, as the grandmothers, to protect them and help them remain in that integrity of spirit, so that they can blossom everything that they can be for all of our sake. So I can say for myself, and I can also speak for the Turtle Island Council, that we support this Indigenous Nations movement now for sovereignty. We always have. I know Hawaii has some strong things going on there, and we believe very much in the words of Oren Lyons and others as they stood in the United Nations. Every year, our grandmothers do a peace symposium there. And it's always the bottom line of everything that we do, that it's always about love. So, aloha keakua. I am bicultural. My mother is Haudenosaunee. My father is Hawaiian. And I thank you for allowing me to speak. And aloha. I love you guys. Thank you.
Is Mesvin here? Is Mesvin?
Mesvin is not in, no.
Mesvin
I just
is
wanted
not-
to thank Susan for this incredible, heartfelt message. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Yes, His Royal Highness Joe Beld is here. Mesvin could introduce him a lot better than I can, because he's known him longer. Would you like to unmute to talk?
Yeah.
You put yourself on mute again. You have to unmute again.
Okay. So, I'm starting now,
Yes,
brother?
yes, please.
Oh, okay. Good evening to you there, our brothers and sisters, all indigenous peoples attend now. So I am introduce myself. I am Sultan Sarip Jubair, descendants of late former Sultan Sarip Muhammad Pulalon, former Sultanate of Sulu, or former state of the Sultanate of Sulu, rather. So I am a leader of or chairman of the United Tausug National Organization here in Sultanate of Sulu, or right now is province of Sulu only, of the Philippines. So as a Sultan of Sulu, so we, the indigenous peoples of Bangsa Tausug, so we support because as indigenous people, because so helps to stop the lost growth their culture right now, celebrating our history uh, in by great strides in being indigenous. So the important here, we must preserve our cultures, protocols, spirituality, and language. So pre-nations recognize each other's sacredness of our life and the importance of protecting our water from from pollutions. Through and waste, water is giver of our life, and without clean water, all life were perished. So we support indigenous peoples, want recognize it's one to another. Indigenous people, we must recognize or the privilege that settler cultures have take for granted. That's all, my love brother. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good evening to all of you right now. That's all, brother. Thank you very much. Aloha.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And now the next person, I do believe that we have here, I think everyone has gone. We've got Christina. May we have you speak?
Hello, everybody. Hi, it's Christina. I'm coming to you from Melbourne, Australia today, and I feel so humbly blessed to be sharing this moment with you. I'm so inspired by your words, and I'm a New Zealander that's lived in Australia for about 30, 40 years, and I've supported the Indigenous cultures here to share the message of the world as much as I can. And so grateful, and I just love you all and offer my support in whatever way I'm able. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. And now if we could have, okay, I think we have had Susan Stanton, Miss Veronica Unifinity. Did I pronounce that correct, Miss Unifinity?
Yeah, my name is Veronica Andrino, and thank you for inviting me here into this noble event. And I'm very grateful to David on this introduction and being a part of this noble cause. I'm the founder of Unifinity. Unifinity is a company located in the Philippines, and we are creating an application that will help to empower the students. So as we all know that the students are having a lot of problems, especially in the universities and education. This is one of the reason why I created this concept. So we have been doing a lot of series of events and road shows in the Philippines for the past years, and we have been empowering the students to understand and to fully be engaged into the next advancement of the technology. So my vision is to help create a new way to fund and to help the students to fund their future of education by rewarding them based on their good performance and good behaviors in the schools. Because I truly believe when it comes to SDG number 4, to support the quality education, and at the same time to support and to help more Filipinos and more indigenous people to afford and to have a quality learning and understandings into their schools, or quality materials. Because here in the Philippines, we have a lot of problem when it comes to the education, and not everybody can support their studies. This is one of the reasons why I truly support the Live Hope and the vision of David Cam here. When he first introduced to me more about this vision of sustainable development goals. So I am truly a big believer of the empowering the students and promoting peace and positivity towards the people. So I hope that we will all be able to use this event as a way for us to encourage more people to join in when it comes to supporting more people and promoting a better life and health, and as well as to support more students in the future. Because I truly believe that the education is the key always. We will never become us if there's no framework. So the education is always our framework that supports the foundation itself, or before we become us right now. So yeah, I mean, thank you, and happy Indigenous Day.
Thank you so much. Now, if we could call on Mr. Julio Davila.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy
Julio,
to...
my brother.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm so happy to be here. Hi, David. ¿Qué pasa? Oh my God. Sherry, Mesfin, over there, Basil. Thanks for having me here. I'm pretty happy. First of all, I want to thank the Three Peacemaker for calling all the nations to join all as one. And I really believe that this unity is really important to me, because many things are in jeopardy right now. You know, Mother Earth needs our help, and I strongly believe in unity, in peace, in love, care, and I know for a fact that when people get together with the same goal, that goal is achieved. I can talk about our experience here in Puerto Rico about a year ago. 1 million Puerto Ricans came together for one reason, and we got that achieved. So I believe and I support the Free Nation movement. Also, I'm a coordinator for the Live Hope event here in Puerto Rico. We represent also the Taino heritage as indigenous, right? Also, well, I believe that we together can successfully be at the restoration of Mother Earth and mankind with love and care and unity. So thank you, David. You guys are doing a great job, and you know you always can count with me. I'm really blessed to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Julio.
Thank you so much, Mr. Davila.
Thank you.
Now, did we get Christina? I believe we did get Christina. Did we get Christina, David?
I don't remember. Christina? Did you talk already?
Hi, it's Christina. I think I did share. I'm not sure if you heard me though.
Okay. I know. Are you on in two different places?
Oh, maybe I am. Can you see me now?
Yes. No. You know what, Christina? We did have you, and thank you for sharing.
Okay,
I apologize. Now,
love you.
Thank you so much. We love you too. And can we now have Diane Paggio?
Hello, everyone. Aloha. It's nice to be here. Thank you. This is my first time joining, though I heard many wonderful things from my friend Susan about David and what's happening. And it's nice to be together for this first meeting. Hello, David.
Hello. Hello.
So is that, can we hear you, Diane?
Master Diane is our leader of our Love, Peace, Harmony Foundation, and has been very supportive of what we've been doing, and hoping we can share more love, peace, and harmony with the world.
Thank you all so much. Now I want to ask, have we missed anyone? I want to make sure that everyone has been taken care of. Have we missed anyone here?
Is Maureen still there? Maureen Rose Ice?
I believe there's a Marlene here. Marlene, have you spoken, dear? Marlene?
Maureen, I think. Is it Marlene or is it different?
She has it as Marlene, David.
Okay.
Is she opening up now? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Marlene, are you opening up now, my dear? Okay, so I believe, have we missed anyone? Okay,
Well,
so
technically I didn't speak, we didn't speak 5 minutes, but I just wanted to say thank you.
Okay, did you want to say something else, Basil?
No, I just wanted to really thank everybody here, really, because it's so important to be doing this together. And thank you, David, for having this incredible commitment to bringing people together to really help so many people in the world. So I just want to make sure that David is acknowledged completely.
Same, thanks.
Yeah, I just this is David speaking. I actually just not only me, because I cannot do it without my partners, Mesfin and Sherry. So that's why we call ourselves the three peacemakers. We all make decisions together and do it together. Just want to acknowledge that. And I cannot do it without beautiful partners and allies, including Gail and Alice here, helping us with this Zoom. This is the first time we use Zoom or StreamYard live stream. This is actually the very first live stream we ever did together, the three peacemakers. And thank you for helping us with the technology and with that. And also all the allies here and the friends and the beautiful spirits to bring peace, love, harmony, and prosperity, abundance, and unlimited wealth that will come from this coming together.
So David,
thank you, Gail. Thank you, David, and please thank Mesfin. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, maybe he dropped off for some.
So my name is Gail, and so I wanted to speak, but I wanted to make sure. I always like to take care of everybody first. That is something that I do. So I'm going to just speak for a moment. Just a second.
Yeah, just because I think you'll probably end everything, I just wanted to say a really quick thanks to David for inviting me. And I didn't say very much. It's my first time being here, but I'm just reveling in the beautiful spirit that everyone has here. Thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you so much. Oh, that's not working. Okay, we're going to. I will just speak from here. My face is down at the bottom. But my name is Gail Davis Carter, and I work with Alice Liu and several of our partners from around the world. And we work together with David to just make a difference in the world. It's really that simple. I don't have a lot of words. I am half African-American, and my father is full-blood Cherokee, not a portion or quarter. He's full-blood. And, you know, embracing that as being an Indigenous woman and a woman of color, I guess I'm so grateful for all parts of me, but I'm really just grateful for the human spirit and the work that we all get to do as human beings together. And I hope, it is my hope and my wish that people seeing David and, you know, Basil from Planet Glees and Diane and Karen and Heidi and Connie and Susan Stanton, Susan Agregaki, Marlene, Jubel, Christina, and everyone here, and Veronica. And I say all of your names because I think it's important to be inclusive of everyone and love everyone. I think it's important that people really connect with the fact that the indigenous community, the reason why they're indigenous is because they were first here, and they understand the earth, and they understand everything that makes this planet what it is, and they understand how to respect and love the planet. And they are the first people here. And I think we have to honor them. I think we have to give them what was already theirs in a sense, because they understand that the planet is the planet and that we live from it, but that we don't take advantage of it. So I think we need to listen to the indigenous community in ways that we haven't before, and respect them in ways that they shouldn't have to fight for something that's already theirs. And so with that, I'll just say I'm just humbled to be a part of it and grateful that I've been a part of this with all of you. And David, thank you for bringing this together, and to Sherry and to Mesfin for being the three peacemakers, because truly it's exuding what peace truly is. And I will just say thank God for everyone. Thank you.
Before we leave, right, I was just called if Susan can do a prayer for us.
Which Susan, David?
Susan Stanton from the Grandmother Circle of the Earth. You can, before closing out the circle.
Sure.
Hallelujah. Aho, grandfather, grandmother, creator gods, as we come together now in this circle to join with each other for this process of bringing the indigenous sovereignty nations together in unity and in oneness of spirit and love. We are grateful for each person who is in the circle tonight. We're grateful to be able to know that as we look upon each other, we can see the future as well as the past. And that as we do, we can walk forward in a good way and take us into this next world. We ask your blessings to be upon us, to help us as we do this, that we will always remember who we are, where we came from, and where we're going. That we might walk in the beauty of the knowledge of understanding of those things that you would have us know as we take up our role as stewards and caretakers and protectors and teachers and students. And we are there to do whatever it is that we can, which each of us has these gifts for this very purpose. We thank our leadership, and we realize that we are all leaders. And we are grateful beyond measure to understand this great work. Aho mitakuye, aloha kia kua, kuleana, aho. Thank you.
Thank you for that amazing prayer, Ms. Stanton. David, would you close us out, please?
So I thank you very much. This week we'll be making another big announcement together, and just keep posted on the Live Hope Festival page. We're going to share something extraordinary with you also for this week. Thank you so much.
Everyone, thank you for being with David and Mesfin and Sherry. And thank you that we're all together as one. This shows one. David, any last words before we go?
No, just a love sign. And that, no need for words.
Thank you so much.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Thank you, everyone.
You.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Onward to peace on earth.
Thank you. Love you, everyone. Happy Indigenous Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Lots of love. Take
Lots
care.
of love.
All stay safe, stay healthy.